Arcane Season 2, do not let me down. I am not playing here, okay? Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's the one and only, your girl, the cartoon hotspot, and in today's video, I'm going to be reacting to Season 2, Episode 1 of Arcane, the Netflix series based on the League of Legends video games. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I am absolutely terrified for Season 2, solely because of how great Season 1 was. Now, most of the shows that I have watched, Season 1 wasn't always the best, and expectedly so, because, you know, the writers are just working out the formula of this series, what works, what doesn't work. However, Arcane Season 1, which came out 3 years ago, yes, 3 years ago, it changed my life. I say this about every show that I watch, but Arcane Season 1 absolutely changed my life. And I don't even play League of Legends, okay? But that was honestly television excellence. Like, I was gagged. Honestly, I didn't expect to like Arcane that much because it's not really my type of series. Like, it's very serious. It's very heavy in the violence and the content and the themes. I was like, ooh, can we just, you know, find something lighthearted and fluffy and all of that stuff? But I actually ended up really liking it. Hands down, I think it's one of the best animated series, and it's up there with Avatar: The Last Airbender and Blue Eye Samurai that recently came out a year ago in December. Like I said, I'm a little bit skeptical and scared because asking your audience to wait 3 years for a second season is absolutely insane. Like, I completely understand why we had to wait so long, because the animation is gorgeous and stuff like that takes so much time to perfect. But at the end of the day, if you're going to make your audience wait 3-4 years for a second season, your second season has to live up to the standards that the first season set. I've been avoiding spoilers like the plague. Now we're finally getting into it. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is G, and I like to make video essays on various media that I enjoy, and I like to analyze them from a writer's perspective. Currently, I'm branching out into Arcane, but most of the time I make video essays on Winx Club, Miraculous Ladybug, The Legend of Korra, Avatar: The Last Airbender, Amphibia, Carmen Sandiego, you name it. So if that's something you're interested in, why don't you stick around, give this video a like, and click that bell button for post notifications. Without further ado, let's get into this video. So, for the uninitiated who haven't a clue of what Arcane is about and just happen to be watching this video, you're a real one by the way, what is Arcane about? Arcane follows this story of two sisters, Vi and Jinx, Vi being the oldest, Jinx being the youngest, whose lives are torn apart by a tragic event amidst growing tensions between the prosperous, wealthy city of Piltover and the oppressed undercity of Zorn. At its core, Arcane is about the bonds of family, the consequences of choice, and the cycle of conflict. So Vi and Jinx at one point get separated, and they're just trying to find their way back to each other without understanding that the time that they spent away from each other, both of them had changed, like, significantly. Ultimately, it's a story about personal and societal transformation, and that is the best I can give away without giving spoilers. So if you haven't watched Arcane, watch it now. It's so good. Okay, episode 1. Let's go. Okay, so quick recap. At the end of season 1, Jinx fires a explosion, cannon, no idea what it is to be fair, at the council just as they were about to agree on not waging war against the Undercity. So they were actually gonna opt for peace, only for Jinx to kind of F it up. Oh my gosh, I think Caitlyn's mom, she did. Sorry, that sounds very insensitive. Yikes. No, not Victor. 2 minutes in and I'm already like depressed. Seriously? Like, you couldn't... Well, I knew what I was signing up for, so I can't really complain. He's using hex score to save Victor's life. They will not trick me. They will not think like, oh, once this is, you know, solved, they'll be fine. No, I think it's going to come at a cost, a very hefty cost. Not gonna lie, I was so scared that they were gonna change the opening song because it slaps. It honestly slaps.
I'm searching to behold the stories that I told when my back is to the world that was smiling when I turned.
I think Caitlyn's gonna have some sort of like villain arc because obviously her mom just died, so I think she's gonna go through some character arc. Honestly good, because I feel like her character was kind of underwhelming the last season, and that's not a bad thing. I just don't think like she shined a lot in the previous season. I have a feeling she will shine a lot in this season. Don't know if I'm going to end up liking her, but I think I'm going to end up appreciating her character even more. It's funny how the lyrics say, when my back is to the world that was smiling when I turned, and we've got Caitlyn back against the wall. And Ambessa, which is Mel's mum, is also in the intro because I don't remember her being in the opening like last season. I think she's going to have a big part to play. She's probably up to no good, to be fair. And then we have Mel. And there's so many like hands kind of reaching for her. So is she going to have like an arc where she's kind of deciding what she wants to do? Because again, they had just decided to opt for peace instead of war. So all of these hands like reaching out to her, does that kind of depict that she's going to be like some sort of puppet and she's not really going to have a say in what she wants to do? I'm just spitballing here because I have no idea. I'm just waffling. We literally just have Caitlyn and Vi butting heads. So I think there's going to be some sort of conflict between them. They're going to find themselves on opposite sides of the war. Caitlyn going for her own agenda, Vi going for her own agenda. So Caitlyn, Vi shippers, so sorry, you guys are going to go through it this season.
And we've been asleep at our posts. When my eyes are open, there will be no more fairy tales of peace until we scour our basement of its demons.
But the thing is, this wouldn't have happened if Piltover wasn't oppressing the Undercity. When a country, when a city, whatever, oppresses another and that city retaliates, they always act like the victims. Yes, it was very tragic that this occurred and Caitlyn's mum was killed. But what about the millions of people in Zone that were also killed who have been affected by Shimmer?
If I may, in crises such as these, it's imperative you present a unified front to the public. Whatever your personal feelings.
Ooh. Not Mel catching a stray. I mean, Ambessa technically is right. You know when they say like, right message, wrong messenger? That is that. Oh, I thought they were gonna kiss. Right. I thought they were gonna kiss. I was actually waiting for that. So what I've gotten so far is that both of them are feeling guilt for the same thing. Guilt is no stranger to Vi. Like, Vi has always felt guilt for how Jinx has turned during the 7 years that they were away from each other. Caitlyn is feeling guilt because she said, I had the shot. If I remember correctly, in the dinner table scene, Caitlyn was about to shoot Jinx, but Vi protested and said, like, no, that's my sister, don't shoot her. Only for Jinx to go ahead and actually, you know, blow up the council tower. So they're both feeling guilt on that aspect. I think what they're going to do with season 2, and this is just predictions by the way, I think they're going to find themselves on opposite sides of one another without realizing that they're both feeling guilt for the same thing. Like, you could often find yourselves at war with somebody else without realizing like both of your feelings stem from the same place.
Please, I have to help. You can. As one of us.
Oh. Caitlyn can't be serious. I mean, I know she is serious, but she can't be serious. Does she really think Vi is just gonna casually be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna become an enforcer. I'm gonna become the very person, the very people that killed my parents and are responsible for the oppression of the Undercity? Does she really think Vi is gonna just like accept it so casually? That's crazy. She's delusional for that. Delulu.
I watched them kill my parents. Do you have any idea how that feels?
Yes, I do. I thought you were on our side.
You didn't think at all.
Manipulation at its finest. I think what they're gonna do with Kate's character this season is very interesting. In season 1, Caitlyn is pretty naive, I would like to say, because it's one thing hearing about what's going on in the Undercity, and it's a completely different thing to actually see with your very own eyes what's going on. And I think she had a very big wake-up call in the last season that, like, yeah, Piltover isn't good as they seem to be when people in the Undercity are literally suffering every single day. So it kind of opened her eyes and she realized, yeah, this is actually really wrong. Like, one side cannot be prospering whilst the other side is just suffering. As soon as she is personally affected by the war, she just completely switched. She's like, oh yeah, I'm going to use my privilege as an enforcer, as a Piltover citizen, and I don't care who's standing in my way. I'm gunning for revenge.
You all right?
Who the hell is this? Who is this?
You, lose someone in the attack?
The subtext behind that is, yes, Vi did lose somebody in the attack, or rather before the attack. She lost Powder. But technically she lost Powder years ago. Yeah, I really loved that scene. Arcane does a good job of not like extending the scenes and making it longer than it needs to be. Did you lose someone in the attack? And then it cuts to the next scene. They could have easily had Vi say, I lost my sister, she's not who I thought she was, trauma dumping, but they didn't, and I love that.
The Hex Core has been evolving, shifting through runic patterns faster than I can keep up. All I know for certain is that it's keeping him alive.
I think it's because the Hex Core in the previous season, like Victor was kind of mixing it with his blood. The Hex Core responds to organic matter, and obviously blood is organic matter. I think it's now become like his life force, or they share like a life force. I don't really know what's going on. That's my best guess. Could be wrong, could be right, who knows.
Her dad's right. There's no point in sticking around up here. Except I'm the one who created the monster.
Okay, so she's still blaming herself for how Jinx turned out. Girl, you're not to blame. Sure, there may have been decisions that you could have handled a little better, but at the same time, Vi was what, like 14, 15 when she got separated from Powder. I'm thinking about when she says, I created that monster. It kind of goes back to when Jinx said at the dinner table scene, Silco didn't create Jinx or something along those lines. And she's like, you did.
That's when Vander left him. But he didn't make Jinx. You did.
I'm sorry.
At one point, Vi would have not believed that, but now she's really starting to believe that I'm the reason why Powder no longer exists, why Powder is long gone. So by Jinx saying you created Jinx and Vi saying I created that monster. By the way, if you see me like looking down, it's because I have my notes from my video essay from like season 1. So yeah. So Jinx is not necessarily like blaming Vi directly, but she is expressing how Vi's actions played a part in her psychological breakdown. Jinx's fragile psyche couldn't handle the loss of her family, and she holds Vi, her older sister and her protector, somebody that should have been there to protect her, accountable. She holds her responsible for abandoning her during the explosion that set her on this path. In Jinx's mind, Vi's choice to leave her is what kind of, you know, pushed her deeper into the chaos that led to her adoption by Silco and her transformation into Jinx. So Vi didn't mean to create Jinx. She saw herself doing what was necessary for survival. Vi is also taking on that blame. Vi is now kind of thinking the same way Jinx is thinking, like, oh yeah, I am responsible for creating this monster. I feel like Vi's trauma is very overlooked in the Arcane fandom. I don't know about you guys. Personally, I think everyone talks about like Jinx's trauma, Jinx suffering from borderline personality disorder, but what about Vi? Vi is just as much traumatized as Jinx, just in different ways.
Vi?
How many bottles did they down? There's like 20 bottles that are just downing alcohol, drowning their problems. Damn, girl, be calm. Okay, be calm. We're gonna get you some therapy, right? When this show ends, we're gonna get you some serious therapy. I'll make sure of it.
Who are you?
How do you know my name?
Junior Officer Nolan. Maddie. And,
I'm sorry, she does not care. She's like, she does not care at all. Oh my gosh.
Caitlyn made quite a scene at the station when they tried to deny your enlistment. She said, if every enforcer had a heart like yours, We could take on Noxus itself. Anyhow.
Okay, no, that's manipulation at its finest. She went behind Vi's back, got this random Maddie girl, she's cute though, just to kind of gas Vi up and make her feel guilty for like declining Kate's offer to join the Enforcers, saying like, oh, if every Enforcer had a heart like yours. Like, that is manipulation at its finest. Caitlyn, I was not familiar with your game. Damn, she's really willing to do anything just to get Vi on her side. She's not really giving Vi much of a choice. She's not really giving her much of breathing room. It's like, you know, when somebody initially declines, so you give them no chance to kind of decline again. Like, you give them no choice to the point like they have to kind of accept. Otherwise it looks worse on them than it does on you. That's what's happening right here. If Vi declines, it looks even worse on her. She looks like she's not the hero that Caitlyn gassed her up to be and sung her praises. Like, she just looks like a coward. So Vi is left with no other option but to actually just join and live up to this false hype that Caitlyn has portrayed.
And they will account for their crimes. Awful, isn't it?
Who is that? Because I noticed the tattoo, but like I'm not really sure like what it means and if it's a clue as to who it could possibly be. Because Vi recognizes it. Yeah, so something's about to go down. Wait, I think I remember her. She was one of Silco's like council members who lost her son when Jace and Vi were going to destroy the like machine that makes shimmer in Silco's factory. Did he just slice some? Oh, okay. Why is bro just sitting down calmly? Like, he's just like, there's no time to think. Just do. He's just sitting there like, oh, am I supposed to intervene and help Maddie out? Sorry, that actually really annoyed me. Like, if my friend or my colleague or whatever was dragged out by some like robot thingy, I'm not just gonna be sitting there like time is wasting. Come on, let's get a move on. Let's do something. Let's save her. Did that ever cross your mind? Wow, straight for the spine. Girl, he's already on the ground. You don't need to add insult to injury. Not my Jace. Okay, time for a confession that might get me jumped in the comment section. First time round when I watched season 1, I did not care for Jace at all. Imagine if season 2 like came out like 3 years ago, right? If I watched this scene 3 years back, I don't think I'd care that much. I'd be like, oh, okay, like you can go. But now I'm like, don't hurt Jace. Like, I've actually grown to love him as a character. I think he's honestly like a really good character. He's a phenomenal character. Yeah, so back away from Jace. Okay. I feel like I've just said okay for the past like 15 minutes. But like, what else am I supposed to say? I feel like episode 1 so far has just been very like action built, which is not a bad thing per se. I was just expecting a little bit more like dialogue, more like character driven moments. Not to say like action is bad or anything. There's still like 10 minutes left of it anyway, so who knows. No, Ambassador just slicing her head off. She really does not play, does she?
She dies and leaves this giant hole, and I'm just supposed to fill it. Like she was never there to begin with.
Hey, you won't. The hole gets smaller, but you never fill it.
There's subtext behind that. She says the hole gets smaller, you just never feel it. She's talking about like how when she lost her own mother and father, Vi had to kind of step up and be the mother and father to Jinx, which is like huge shoes to fill. Like imagine being the older sister, a kid for that matter, and automatically in a blink of an eye, just like that, you have to play mother and father. Like there's no time for you to grieve. There's no time for you to just kind of sit back and be like, actually, I don't want to do this. We got to keep it moving. If you're not a mother, you can never be a mother to somebody else. It just doesn't work like that.
This is a closed council meeting. Who let you in here?
I am a decorated officer, leader of House Kiraman. Address me with respect or keep your mouth shut.
Gag him again for me, girl. Gag him.
I will lead a strike team into...
Hold on, that very, very small shot of Ambassador, like, kind of looking at Caitlyn with respect. I think there's going to be a callback to that later on in the series. My predictions, it might be a bit of a reach, but hey, I'm just spitballing here. My predictions is that Ambassador is going to become a sort of mentor figure to Caitlyn, whether or not she's a good mental figure or like a toxic one, and Caitlyn is just taking a lot of like bad advice from Ambassador. We don't know. We really don't know. But I think Ambassador kind of sees something in Caitlyn that she doesn't see in Mel, and she's going to manipulate that to her advantage, because now Caitlyn is driven by grief, driven by revenge. And Ambassador, you know, like she's cutthroat. She respects people who demand respect. And how do you demand respect? By taking it by force, which is what Caitlyn is doing. They're using hex tech as weapons, which goes against Jace's like whole ethos and principles, and now Vi is officially an enforcer. Damn, crazy work. So yeah, that was episode 1 of season 2. Okay, I wouldn't say I'm underwhelmed. I thought I was going to be heading into something a bit more exciting. I'm not saying it was a terrible episode or a terrible start to the season, absolutely not. I think it did its job for what it's worth, but I think it's one of those things where you kind of have to let it cook. Like maybe by episode 2 and 3, things will start picking up and we're going to get into the real like heavy content of it all. So yeah, Vi becomes an enforcer by the end of the episode. I have a feeling like a lot of people are going to like say, because I can predict what people on like Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, whatever, YouTube even, saying that Vi becoming an enforcer is very rushed. Yes and no. I think we definitely could have seen her struggle with the decision, but I think ultimately at the end she would decide to become one given the circumstances. I think her becoming an enforcer makes sense in the grand scheme of things, even though at first she was very reluctant to do so. I think how she became one was a little bit like rushed in a sense, but maybe it's supposed to be written that way because again, like just as she was debating about becoming an enforcer, that is when the citizens of the Undercity, like certain individuals, attack the memorial service. So it's like, okay, I don't really have time to think. The more I think, the more unnecessary blood is going to be shed. And I think Vi is very much a character that is kind of forced to do things that she doesn't want to do. Like she's a victim of her own circumstances. She's rarely ever the active decision maker. It's more so like things are impacting her and she just has to react to it. Yeah, that's how I would put it. She's less of an active decision maker. She's more of a reactor. And I think maybe later on the season, we're going to see her kind of, you know, change in that sense. Like she's going to be more so, instead of her reacting to certain things, she's going to be active. Does that kind of make sense? I feel like I'm kind of waffling. I feel like next episode we're going to see Jinx. We're going to have Jinx and Vi confront each other, which I'm so seated for. This is just my predictions, by the way. Probably going to see more of Caitlyn manipulating Vi, because as Vi goes deeper into enforcer life, she's like, actually, this isn't what I actually want to do. I mean, she never really wanted to do it in the first place, but she's going to end up hating the person that she's becoming. So my next video, I'm actually going to be reacting to episode 3 and not 2. I think I'm going to make 4 videos in total for Arcane, unless there are episodes that I absolutely have to react to. So yeah, I'm going to react to episode 3, 6, and 9. So yeah, so far I'm not too disappointed, but I'm not too hyped at the same time. So that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. But now I want to put it to you guys. What did you think of Arcane season 2 episode 1? Let me know down in the comment section below. But as for today, that's it from me, and I'll see you again next time.